What up, homies? It's your boy Stev, and welcome to the bracket. Back in 2020, like most of the world, me and Ash didn't have a lot going on, so we decided to make a list of the 130 greatest movies of all time and pit them against each other, tournament style, to see which ones came out on top. We judged them against each other in 5 categories: production, writing, acting, originality, and rewatchability. Whichever movie took the most categories moved on. Don't get me wrong, it was rarely unanimous between us, but it was always a lot of fun. Just a heads up, we did record these a few years ago, so if the timeline feels a bit weird, that's why. If you want to check out the list of the 130 movies, I'll put a link to our website in the description below. So without further ado, let's all go back to the land of 2020, where all we did was sit at home, drink excessively, and watch flicks. Enjoy. Something.
Oh, I'm dumb. No. Okay, that's good.
Ashley, no fighting in the war room.
I got nothing to say.
Dr. Strangelove taking on Airplane? Exclamation mark.
Yeah, it's like, airplane! Airplane!
Airplane!
I know, I'm afraid of their ears. Yeah, I want to go across the room.
Airplane!
Exactly. Yeah, I have never seen both. This was very interesting pairing.
Okay. What'd you think?
So, let's go with Dr. Strangelove first.
Sure.
This had the recipe of a great movie.
Oh, okay.
I love Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
I love, in my top 15 is The Shining and A Clockwork Orange and, unforgettable movies, Full Metal Jacket. I love that movie.
Yeah.
This movie was terrible.
Oh, no.
Absolutely terrible. And, yeah, it was a good, and I was so ready because I'm like, Stanley Kubrick, I know his work, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I actually know this director. I was so stoked. And yeah, just the whole thing. The only good thing I can't even talk about right now. So it's
Okay.
the movie was okay. I know you like this movie, don't you?
I do like this movie. Okay. I've always looked up to Stanley Kubrick as a director. I've always been fascinated by his filmography.
It's just so dark and so different.
And that's what I love about it.
Right.
Every movie. Okay, so his first, we'll say of his first 3, maybe 4 movies, 3 of them are war movies, like Paths of Glory, Fear and Desire. Or maybe not. So then, okay, so maybe 2 of them are war movies. So and then once he does those 2 war movies, I feel like every movie is something from a different genre. He does like Killer's Kiss, which is like the gangster flick. Do you know what I mean? And he does Full Metal Jacket, which is a war movie, but he does The Shining, which is a horror movie. He does
Clockwork Orange,
which is almost like a sci-fi movie, almost Eyes Wide Shut, which is like an erotic thriller almost.
He did 2001: Space Odyssey.
He does
too,
2001:
right?
Space Odyssey, which is one of the greatest sci-fi movies, actual space sci-fi movies of all time. A movie that might make this list. Who knows?
Possibly.
But so that's the thing, right? So what I like about Dr. Strangelove is this is his comedy. This is him I'm going to make a fucking comedy, which is very funny because the movie the book that it's based off of is not funny. It's very dry. It's very fucking some general starts a nuclear war. You know what I mean? That's what the fucking book's about. So it's funny that they're writing this movie, and then about halfway through writing,
they realize
they're like, what if we make this funny? It could be and it's okay, let's do it. And I love the idea of taking something so serious and making it funny.
Right.
Which is funny because that's actually something that both of these movies have in common. One, they both have large, they both kind of center around airplanes. That's kind of the funny bit of it. But they have a lot more in common than that. Both of these movies are based off of books that were really serious. Like, so
Airplane was as well.
yeah, it was based off.
Oh.
It was based off a movie called Red Alert, and it was about this. So the same thing, where like the pilots and everybody gets sick off of like the fish dish or whatever it was, and so this guy has to like fly the plane, and like that's what it's about. There's even a movie version of the book that's very serious.
Okay.
So it's very funny. Like, so it's technically based off of a book like Airplane, but it's more based off of the movie. You see what I'm saying? Like the book,
Right.
and then the movie, and then they're making fun of the movie almost. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? But
Which one made more like made more money? In
surprisingly,
a
I think Airplane did. I made a shitload of money actually. So, and it's actually very funny. And one thing that was very clever about Airplane is a lot of the actors that were in it had never done comedies before, which is why they were cast. They wrote this script as seriously as possible, but like not because the script's obviously not serious, but like the performances are serious.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like we don't like they're acting like they're in a real fucking movie, but weird things are going on around them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and like that's what like Leslie Nielsen this was his first comedy ever. And like he fucking annihilates it. And now every movie that like he's known for his comedies now. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
he was one of the main people though he played Dr. Rumack.
yeah.
Yeah, so he was like one of the main characters in this movie.
And that's it. Like, and he crushes it, and he has like some of the best lines, some of the best like comedic moments.
Right.
But I don't know. I really like Doctor Strangelove. I think whereas Airplane, I would say, is a spoof. Doctor Strangelove is more of a satire. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to distinguish what the difference is, I guess. I don't know, but like,
see, to me, Airplane was more of a stupid comedy, and Strangelove was more of a
it's almost too clever.
Clever funny.
Yeah,
that was I don't like Airplane for that reason because
it was a barrage of just dumb fucking jokes.
And I don't like that. I'm like, I loved Strangelove's clever comedy better.
Agreed. It's actually
unless it works, like Anchorman, it works. The dumb comedy works, but
it's funny. I haven't seen Airplane in a long time. So I remember watching this movie and thinking it was fucking hilarious, which is why I'm like, I'm going to throw it on the list. I think it's a fun comedy, and I like the idea that it's like two airplane movies.
Right.
I think they fucking work. Watching it this time, I realized I've matured a little bit, which I never would have guessed. I was like, oh, wow.
We did not notice either. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of, but that's their thing, right? The guys who like wrote and directed this movie like went on to direct like Naked Gun. It's
Airplane, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. So like that's their thing, is just stupid fucking pretty much every like 10 seconds we're gonna throw a joke at you, and fucking 88% of them are not gonna land, but that fucking 15% is gonna be so funny that you're not gonna notice. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of their thing. So
well, Strangelove's Kubrick was so like dumbfounded is the perfect word that barely anyone ever caught these sexual innuendos in Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
That's how cleverly funny it is. Because I just watched it and I didn't catch any.
The only one that I can think of is the plane being fueled in the beginning. That's the only one I can think of.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know. It just looks like it's just very like
I didn't
weirdly
catch
sexual.
any. While Airplane, it's like in your face
God,
and you
10
can
seconds.
catch it.
Yeah.
So it just depends what kind of funny you're into.
Yeah.
I prefer Strangelove comedy before Airplane comedy, unless it's meant for that, like Will Ferrell movies and Step Brothers with the ball sack and stuff like that. That's whenever it's it's meant for. You see, you're already laughing,
which is funny. That's also an Adam McKay movie. They're both like Anchorman and Step Brothers.
That's what I mean, though. Unless it's like a Will Ferrell. That's what I'm trying to say. A Will Ferrell movie, then it's meant to be that.
I'm gonna rub my nuts on your drum set. No, you're not. And he fucking runs.
Apparently, Will Ferrell has those ball sacks. Apparently, he kept that. That's his memento of that movie. Yeah, because they asked, like, what did you steal from the set? And he's like, the ball sack. And they're like, you had the ball sack? And he's like, it's in a glass case in my room. Or whatever, my movie room. That's
like apparently the autopilot in an Airplane. One of the directors had that in their garage until like recently. It just kind of disintegrated. But yeah, honestly, Strangelove. I liked that
one actor, Peter Sellers, played 3 different people.
Yeah,
That was interesting.
He was actually supposed to play 4. He was supposed to play. So he was hired to play 4.
Strangelove,
So
President.
yeah, President Merkin. No, so the general is it General Merkin?
I don't know. All I know
Either
is
way.
the President, Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, so it's Strangelove, the president, the general who's with Jack the Ripper, and then he was supposed to play Kong, like the guy in the airplane,
Right.
like
the
that,
cowboy?
Yeah, he was supposed to play him, but he couldn't do a fucking Texan accent. He was like trying really
Which
hard.
is hard, though.
Yeah, and then apparently they were filming, and he fell out of the airplane and broke his ankle. Yeah.
The Texan?
Well,
No, or Peter
Peter
Sellers.
Sellers.
Oh, no.
So that's why. So they end up saying like, let's just get another guy. But I think the guy they got, Slim Pickens, is fucking
That was
perfect.
Apparently, he's like a real cowboy.
Apparently, that's him in real life.
Apparently, I think he's a real cowboy.
There's like an audio comment. There's like an interview or something where Peter Sellers was talking about how he thought that the guy was just keeping the character going while not
Right.
behind the camera, but apparently that's just fucking him. He just walks around like just being
It's Tiger King. What's his name? It's like that persona.
yeah, just
Yes.
so ridiculous. But like he's perfect for that role. Like, all right, you want to just rate this and then we'll just talk a little bit off the cuff?
Yeah, and then I have a small story. Yeah, it's funny.
Cool.
Yeah, we can rate this. So let's do Power production. You know what? I'm gonna do this different. I want to hear all of yours first.
Okay. Okay. All right. Production, I'd give to Strangelove.
Okay.
Acting. Okay. So originality. I'd give to. Well, they're both not really original because they're both based off. I'd give it. I'd actually give it to Airplane. Actually, I think Airplane's a little more original. Writing, I give the Strangelove. Acting, I give the Strangelove. Rewatchability, I'd probably give it to. I'm gonna give it to Airplane only because. Go ahead.
But you're still 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So production, I would give it to Strangelove because we talked about in the last episode about like having to make the plane actually look like it's flying.
Yes.
When stuff like that in the olden times. It's not like it's like fucking. But yeah, like that's difficult. So I go to that. Originality. I see what you're coming from. My problem is that Airplane comes from another movie.
Yeah.
But the Strangelove only comes from the book. Every
Yeah.
movie is from a book nowadays.
It's true.
So I'm going to give mine to Strangelove. Mm-hmm. Do you want to dispute that?
No.
And then writing, Strangelove, acting, Strangelove, and rewatchability.
So Strangelove beats Airplane.
Yeah.
There's no other way I could see this outcome being, to be honest with you. Like
Honestly, I just did not enjoy Airplane whatsoever. I just didn't like the comedy, and it drove me nuts the whole time.
Really? Okay.
I didn't laugh. I was irritated.
Okay.
I was just like,
Here's the thing.
what is, like,
There
this is wasteful money.
Yeah, there are so many dumb jokes where you're like, okay, but I found every now and again I get hit with a joke that I laughed out loud.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Well, the movie made its thing was 3.5, and it made 171 million. That's a lot.
Yeah. Fuck.
171 million. To keep in mind, Strangelove, I get it. It's a big gap of years. Mm-hmm. They only made 9.4 in North America.
What was the budget for Strangelove?
1.8 million.
Because I know. Peter Sellers got paid 50% of the budget. Yeah.
Ooh! Yeah. So he made $9 million.
He made $9 million? No, of the budget.
Oh, he made 900,000.
Okay, still fucking a lot of money. Like,
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
So he made $900,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And he was the first person, and I think the only person ever, to be nominated for more than one character. He got nominated for this movie.
How cool.
Right?
Oh, Eddie Murphy wishes that was him.
Right? But that's the thing. So
that was Eddie Murphy's. It still is. He just released a new movie like 6 months ago and did the same thing.
Oh, yes, he did, actually. But yeah, like, so he got nominated for Best Actor, but he's for multiple characters. It's like
Man, you got like a 3 out of 6 shot.
Right.
Yes. And then you don't win. You're like, oh, I suck.
Fuck.
I even had, 50% chance. I that's just my personal. I just did not.
I hear you.
Obviously, people liked it. It made $171 million. That's a lot of money.
It's widely regarded as one of the greatest satires of all time.
Right. It just wasn't my personal cup of tea. And that's okay.
Cool.
So, Dr. Strangelove, you carry on, but not yet. We're still going to say a few more things.
Obviously.
Because next is...
Spoilers!
Spoilers. Spoilers. So yeah, you were talking about earlier about the cowboy. There's this joke that of course now I'm gonna forget her name. The main girl from Pitch Perfect.
Anna Kendrick?
Yeah. She had this interview about she was in England and someone was like, "Can I take your bags?" And she was like, "Of course you can. It's been the longest trip." And the guy was like, "No problem." And then she's like, and after talking to him for a few minutes, I realized it wasn't a gag and that was his real accent. And she had to slowly get out of the accent. That is what I felt about that cowboy, thinking it's a joke, and you're like, "Yeah," and then you find out it's real, and you're like, "Yeah." Like, how do I get out of this accent? I gotta to not make fun of him.
I gotta throw it out there. I am in no way surprised that him riding the warhead to the ground is that is one of the greatest shots in film history. I see it all the time, and I am in no way surprised. It is. And he's the only person in the world that could do it. He's so excited that he
did it.
Yeah. It's so.
My thing though is there was no other escape plan. What was he going to do? So when he was fiddling with that, he knew that's what was going to happen. Yeah. So once that, you're like, if this door opens, I'm going. There's nothing to hang on to. Fuck it. I'm going to fucking ride her like a bull. I would have too.
Such an interesting character.
Because you're going to die instantly, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And you are the hero, in a sense.
Yeah. So, but it's just, that's the craziest thing is
the cowboy hat is getting flung around. Yeah.
That's the most interesting thing about it is they think everybody in these airplanes thinks they're doing the right thing. They're gonna nuke Russia because, according to the general, Russia attacked them first. But that's insane. That's. Oh, sorry, my ear got itchy. Apparently, after this movie came out, the U.S. military rewrote all of their fucking. I wrote it down actually. Okay. After this movie came out, the U.S. military changed all of their policies to make sure that this couldn't happen.
Whoa!
Because apparently there's a lot of
that's how easy it would have been,
right? It's like this is actually kind of possible. Maybe we should fucking change some shit. Because all it takes is one higher up to be fucking nuke them, and then do what I mean, and then cut off all communication. He did it. His plan is so interesting. I don't know. He's a great character too. General Jack D. Ripper or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's good. I actually think, though, as much as we're talking about Sterling Hayden as, Jack Ripper and Peter Sellers as his multiple fucking characters,
right.
I actually think the hero of this movie is George Scott. The guy, the other, American general. Right. He's fucking excellent in this movie, which is funny because he did not like this movie. He wanted to play it a little straighter, and Stanley Kubrick kept telling him to go bigger, and he was like, no, I don't want to go bigger, I don't want to go bigger. And he kept telling him, how about this? Go big on the first one. This will be just a practice rehearsal, just to get it out of, just so I can see it, and then we can go a little straighter.
And then that was it?
And he kept fucking filming them. And that was the one scene where he is walking backwards and he falls, but then he gets right back up and keeps going. That was one of those takes where it's like, it's just...
Oh, I love that.
Right, but apparently because he didn't want to be like the butt of a joke, right? But I think it works.
Which he was.
Right? But I love that. I love that he's always mowing down gum.
Yeah.
He's just like such a ridiculous fucking character. He's funny.
Like, speaking of strange characters, so Strangelove's character at the end, he was obviously a Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure. I'm like, why does his arm keep getting, like, spring-loaded in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's trying to hide it?
He's like, well, it's like his arm has like a mind of its own.
Right, and he's, like, biting it and it tried choking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a ridiculous character. I love also the Russian guy that's in there. I don't even remember why he's there. I guess he's like the representative of Russia in like the world, but he keeps like taking pictures and stuff. Like he's got like the fucking camera on him,
and they're like, he's taking pictures of our board,
and then he's like, no, they planted that on me. It's so ridiculous. And then like the line, "There's no fighting in the war room." Love it. A fun bit that I read actually. So apparently, Stanley Kubrick paid $10,000 to have that giant round table.
Yeah, that table is beautiful. Though.
Yeah.
That's in the Pentagon, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
In quotations.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, in the movie. Yeah.
So he had it lined with, like, green felt to make it look like a poker table. So he spent $10,000 to make it look like a poker table. Because it's funny that it looks like they're playing poker with people's lives. Here's the thing that's interesting. The movie was filmed in black and white. It's a black and white movie.
So you can't even tell.
Why the fuck would you... Like, why would you spend so much money doing that? It's so strange. But he's about that. He's all about... He's very meticulous. He's very, like... It's got to be a specific way. Another thing that's very interesting is there is actually no war room in, like... So it's very funny. A lot of people, like, will get into the White House... They're like, "Where's the war room?" It's like, "Oh no, that was made up for that movie. That's not a real fucking thing."
Idiots.
Yeah, that's not a real thing. Like,
so going back to the felt, that was really, really weird. I wonder if he was trying to do like a Sin City moment. If you remember the movie Sin City, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it was color film at this point, so you could have colored it. Yeah.
So if you've ever seen the movie Sin City, it's like the whole movie is black and white except for the most important thing. So Alexis Bledow's eyes are like bright fucking blue.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I'm wondering if, you think he would have colored just the felt green, left everything else black and white.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Yeah, that is kind of funny that it's in there. I didn't know it was in there.
Right? And that's the thing. So that's interesting.
And I just watched it today. Like, I didn't fucking know.
Another thing that's interesting is there's all of that food. That like those tables of food. Apparently, the ending of the movie is supposed to end in a giant pie fight.
I heard that.
Yeah, it was, and there's like a Stanley Kubrick exhibit a couple years ago in Toronto, and I went to it, and there's one picture left. That is like proof that it exists, and it's all of the actors covered in pie, and they're like laughing hysterically. Like,
you went to that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, I kind of wish. I know your wife didn't go.
Oh yeah, she went. Yeah, with me.
You dragged her? I can't believe she agreed to that.
I know, right?
Now you have to go to like a Notebook.
I want to say I did
exhibit.
that day. I'm pretty sure I saw at least 2 Hunger Games movies that weekend.
That's very, very fair. No.
Yeah. So.
That's cool. Why the hell wasn't I there?
I don't know.
That's cool. And the original, like, Clockwork Orange outfit, I'm guessing, was
there too, yeah. There's that was there. They had the original model for, like, the hedge maze in Shining.
But
the coolest thing was actually, there was one room that was dedicated to 2001: A Space Odyssey, and they had all of the miniature models from 2001: A Space Odyssey as well. Like all
that
of
was real?
All of the from like the movie, all of the ships and stuff that they used. And then they even had, like, the background was like space, so it's like they could show you how they filmed it and stuff. It was pretty cool. And, like, the cameras that they used and stuff, it was pretty cool.
Holy shit. Good for you for going to that.
It was neat.
But, yeah, that's awesome.
But either way. It's supposed to end in a pie fight, which is why all those pies are there. So another thing that I find interesting about this movie, I find it interesting that he worked with Peter Sellers twice. So this wasn't the first time he worked with Sellers. The first time was a movie called Lolita. And Peter Sellers plays, I don't even remember who the fuck, I think he's like a detective that's trying to, it's about this guy who marries this woman, and she has a daughter, like a really young daughter, who he's like in love with. So he ends up killing the mother and like kidnapping the daughter, with the two of them going like this like road trip together. And I want to say Peter Sellers plays like a detective that's trying to take him down, or not take him down, but like trying to like find him. But anyway, he plays somebody. The reason why I find this so interesting is Stanley Kubrick is infamous for excessive amounts of takes.
Oh, The Shining. I know, the elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the elevator's one. I know The Shining, at least a couple years ago, it did.
Oh.
Have the record for the most takes.
Samuel Jackson?
No, what's that?
Was it, well, who was it?
It's Scatman Crothers. Samuel Jackson?
Samuel Jackson has like a record for that. I don't know what movie it is. But yeah, I know what you mean. Go on.
No.
We just watched it. What was the first two movies? Shawshank. Doesn't he have a, not Samuel Jackson, Morgan Freeman. Doesn't he have a record?
Oh.
For the most takes for that one line, and it drove him crazy because he couldn't get it right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
In The Shining, it's Scatman Crothers, and it's him receiving The Shining from Danny, and he like sits up in his bed, and he's just supposed to like be all telepathic, but apparently did it like 150 times or something. Yeah.
Holy
and he couldn't figure it out. He he's like, what do you want from me? And Kubrick's like, do it like this. It was like a lot of that, right? But that's his thing. Stanley Kubrick was very big on multiple takes, and Peter Sellers does not like to do more than one take. That's his thing. He's like,
these two are recipes for disaster.
Right? He's like, I'll do one take. The most you'll get me doing the same take is 3 times. He's like, if you want me to come in and just fucking improvise shit, I can do that all day. You want to do 100 takes that are 100% different of me just talking? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Cool. But I'm not saying the same fucking lines 3 times, which is very funny because like you'll hear like the 2 different perspectives, right? Peter Sellers will be like, he had me do the same lines 3 times and I don't understand why. He's like, you got it on the first one. And then Stanley Kubrick will be like, every time he said it, it got better. It got funnier. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those, it's a perspective thing, right?
Or I can see if the line needs to be angry.
Right? Exactly.
I'm going to fucking make him say it 4 times because it'll be so fucking bad. Yeah.
So I find it very interesting that he worked with Peter Sellers because Peter Sellers doesn't like to do multiple takes, right? But, yeah, no, I think...
That's a funny little twist to throw. That would suck.
Yeah.
Because I can say the same line, but I have a limit too. My limit would be like 6 times. God. And I'm like, all right, man.
After hearing it, it's like even, I don't even have to be an actor in the scene. If I hear people say the same line fucking 3-4 times and you haven't moved the camera, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
What the fuck? Why are you wasting everybody's time? Like, at least push the camera in a little bit or move it so it could be justified.
Right.
Well, I want it from this angle too. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? You're not giving yourself anything to edit with. You're not like, it's not clever. I don't know. But apparently, you got to get the best take. Like, there are some directors out there who are like, not only is it about the best take, but it's like every person has different takes. Like, they have it so actors will be on opposite sides of the screen. So there's like a little gap in between. And they'll just put a line in between. It's like, okay, the left side of the screen is take 27. And the right side of the screen is take, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, that's where it's getting to right now. Where it's like some directors are like, it's got to be perfect.
Well, I know the fucking adventure movies. I saw them all. They don't even film together anymore.
Yeah.
They're all different.
It's all green screen.
And it's like all of you guys are filming differently. And you guys are just mashed together, acting like you're all in the same room. Yet they were all in the same room once. And it was for the one photo where they were in like the gymnasium on like the...
Yeah.
Probably wasn't a gym, but it was like they were on benches. And they were all together. Yeah, that's really interesting. I know Stanley is really brutal for that. I've heard that before. The Shining is the most famous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he did
the elevator. They had to keep cleaning up the hallway, filling the elevator, do it again. Yeah. Do you know how many times they did that? It was a lot. It was like 80s.
There was a lot. I know that because it was a fucking pain. Apparently, it was a huge pain in the ass, obviously, to fill this fucking elevator, right?
It was like 80s in the 80s somewhere. Anyways.
So okay.
Dr. Strangelove is staying, so I guess we should give some love to...
Sure. Actually, before we just real quick, I want to ask for both movies, which is why.
Okay.
Your favorite character in Dr. Strangelove?
I don't think I really have one because I didn't like the movie that much.
Okay. What about your favorite joke? You had to have laughed at something.
No, yeah. And so when we talked about it, when I saw the film was on the list, I watched this movie a very, very, very long time ago. And all I remember was that fucking cowboy riding that missile. And when I watched it, that part made me smile. And I was like, he is definitely probably my favorite.
It's funny. Okay, so we talk.
Or what's nice is whenever he discovers the letters POE, that was nice too.
Oh yeah,
he's like, peace on earth, and it was like another sentence, and that was cool.
Yeah. We talk a little bit about. We talk a little bit about movies being ruined by other movies.
Right.
Okay. This is one case in which I actually think it's made better by another movie. There's a scene in the movie Superbad where it talks about Jonah Hill's character when he's
again though this stupid comedy.
Yeah, but it's so
funny. But anyways,
they talk about Jonah Hill when he's a little kid. He used to have a problem drawing dicks all the time.
Yeah.
And there's the one picture that he drew, and it's of Slim Pickens on the warhead.
But he's is a dick. One.
It's so funny.
I never thought of that. Oh, how funny. With the cowboy hat and everything. Oh, I love that. Hilarious. So who is your favorite character from Strangelove?
Oh, man. I would think... I don't know. I think Jack the Ripper is probably my favorite character. George Scott's character is fantastic. But Jack the Ripper... Like, I don't know why every time he says... we have to protect our bodily fluids. I think it's the funniest fucking thing. It's so dumb. But, like, the first time you hear it, you're like, oh, that's a weird thing to say out loud. And then, like, he says it probably fucking 5 times.
Right.
And the 5th time, he's like, you gotta understand, our bodily fluids. It's just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, because then there's the one where he's like, you talk about water, and he's like, your body's 70% water. We gotta protect that, our bodily fluids. So
and then he's like, do you know why I drink distilled water? Yeah, and he was just talking about it. Yeah.
So fucking ridiculous. I think it's very funny. I don't know, just yeah, that's a funny bit. I like that one a lot. But I think Slim Pickens is a good one too. I think they're both equally as good as each other. Okay. Moving on to Airplane. Airplane, your favorite character?
I think Robert Hayes probably. I think he did really well.
Yeah.
As Ted Stryker, yeah.
What a fucking ridiculous name. Ted Stryker. It's almost, remember we were watching Titanic and the guy's name was Brock Lovett? It's like, God damn it.
How about your favorite character on Airplane?
Probably Leslie Nielsen's character. The doctor is fucking really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite joke in Airplane?
I don't think I have one. I honestly, I hated this movie.
Okay. I think
it's with Blade, whatever the first Blade Runner with me.
Oh, wow.
It's like, I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
I think my favorite joke, I don't know why I laughed really fucking hard. Maybe it's because, though, okay, it's when he's telling the story to that old woman who fucking obviously doesn't want to hear it. She, puts her glasses on, and he's like, it was a hot summer.
I don't mean to bore
she's like,
you. Yeah.
And then he tells a story, and it comes back, and it pans over, and she's hung herself.
Yeah.
I think I laughed pretty fucking hard. That was a good one. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just not my kind of comedy, and that's all. The only good thing I can say about this movie is Jonathan Banks is in it as he was an air traffic controller Gunderson in the movie. And he is from the show Breaking Bad. He is one of my, that's the only saving graces for me. I can't pronounce his last name in the movie. It's Mike Ehrmantraut.
Oh, yeah. You talking about in Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he saved it.
Okay.
The whole movie was terrible. Also, which I found really, really fun, at least I found some kind of fun, was the main character is actually a licensed pilot.
Really?
Yeah, and that he could have actually landed that plane properly. He was, and he still is.
Oh, shit. There's a lot of funny bits. I don't know why. The one that sticks out to me, too, is all of the reporters in the room. all right, let's take some pictures and get out of here. And then they all like run to the walls to take the pictures off and fucking run away. I think stuff like that. It's like, that's funny. I laugh.
Because I know there's like an autopilot and it's a blow up doll. Yeah.
That's
the fish thing that is so real though that like hits way too close to home.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Is one thing to be food poisoned, and
that's true.
What are you gonna do?
Well, that's the thing. So in the movie, there's an actual line that's we need to find somebody who knows how to land this plane, and they can't have who didn't eat the fish.
Didn't eat the fish. Like, how is that not supposed to be a comedic sentence?
Right. Just so silly.
It sounds like a comedic sentence.
Apparently, one of the greatest. This movie has one of the like top 100 funniest lines of all time. Like, there's like an AFI list or something. The line, "Can you fly this plane and land it?" And then Stryker says, "Surely you can't be serious." And then Leslie Nielsen's like, "I am serious. And don't call me Shirley." It's stupid, but apparently it's one of the greatest lines of all time. I don't know.
The only line I laughed at was whenever he's like, I think it's his girlfriend or whatever, so Elaine, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to land this plane." And she's like, "You can't." And he's like, "I know. I've been trying to tell these people." That was clever, because he's trying to land. He's like, "I know that. I've been trying to tell them that." Like, that was the only time when I thought, this is realistically funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Because that's like a real, can you somewhat land this plane? No. But you've landed a kind of plane? Good enough. And it's like, no, it's different. Like, I like that scenario. That's so real.
The love interest in this movie, was she the mom on Just Friends?
I have no idea.
No, neither. She
Just Friends.
Yeah, the one with Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan Reynolds.
She looks and sounds exactly like her. Like,
I'm gonna
so much that it bugs me.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the mom whenever she gets, when they go ice skating and she's so excited. Hold on. I know who you're talking about. I don't know.
She just looks and sounds exactly like her. Like, it's so much so that if it's not her, it'll blow my mind.
I love that movie. The movie is so funny. She's awesome. Amy Smart. I like her.
Yeah, she's great.
Dusty. That's funny. Carol. Julie Haygardy. It is.
Nice.
Shut up.
Good.
No way. I didn't even notice.
It bugged me so much.
I'm trying to think of, like, that was our very first movie.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even I'm so upset by that. Because she's like, "Come on outside. We're making snow angels." And she's like, runs outside. I actually really enjoy that movie. I shouldn't. That movie is amazing. Dusty. And he has the retainer. I love that movie. And Dusty Dinkelman, that's his name.
Me and my wife sing the song Forgiveness to each other all the time. Forgiveness, it's more than saying sorry. She's fucking so funny.
I love that movie. Anyways, that's fucking funny.
Okay, so we gotta stop talking about movies that are funnier than Airplane.
No, I did not know. No, I don't know. With this movie, I was not prepared for it to be a comedic movie.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of threw me off guard. And then it was that kind of comedy. And I was like, maybe for its time, because there have been so many movies like that out, that now when I see an older version of it, I'm like, oh.
And that's very possible, right? And
like, I'm used to Will Ferrell brand doing it,
and that could also be the problem, right? There a lot of times we're like with like Citizen Kane, Casablanca, stuff like that, like older movies. We talk about how right now maybe not, maybe they're not super original or super like mind blowing, but back then, never seen before, right?
I bet this movie was fucking hilarious.
It's very possible that no one's ever seen this kind of comedy before. Whereas like, I mean, I've seen this movie a billion times. You know what I mean? Like now, like Basketball, Naked Gun, which was from the same guys. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like
there's
Hot
the space
Shots.
One, which is supposed to be like stupid funny. I forget what it's called.
Spaceballs.
Like basketball. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I've seen that even the scary movies are.
Oh, the
funny,
first one was
right?
big.
I love the first one. The first
Grab
two
my
were
strong
fantastic.
hand.
That's
that
the second
movie,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But so looking through it,
Booty the duty. Isn't that a scary movie?
yeah,
And he has the.
I do like
teeth.
when the autopilot does that to him, the salute.
Oh, and when the plane is leaving,
yeah.
and the girl pops up. Yeah.
So I mean, looking at it through that lens, it kind of deserves to be on the list just because it, you know what I mean, started a trend. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, I knew going in almost that there was no way Doctor Strangelove was going to get beaten by it.
Right. This was honestly a great pair up. The two airplane movies. That was a great.
Thank you.
That was a great pair up. But yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, but we both knew coming into this. You definitely knew.
Yeah.
Dr. Strangelove was gonna win.
So either way, cool. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got. So stay tuned. Sorry, airplane, but Dr. Strangelove. We'll see you next. Bye, 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 bye.